Are you here to listen to El Numero Uno? Or are you here to listen to the American Kaiju? From the land of the rising sun, you're listening to the Osaka Saint, the Saitama Superstar, the Mad Titan of Tokyo, the American Kaiju. Welcome to the Hogscast Red and Black.
Welcome back, Hogs Pack. We have a fantastic, joyous episode for you today. It's very joyous. Adam, do you know why?
Why is that, Devin? I'd like to know. I'm very interested.
You shaved your face. You're a baby face. You went from heel to baby face over the weekend. I don't even have to ask how your weekend was. I know you turned face on us.
It was an accident.
How did that happen?
I was trimming it and I fucked up. So I decided, hey, I'm just going to shave the whole thing and try to grow it back because my facial hair grows in shitty anyway. So
yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there. I also am one of the I'm part of the Shitty Facial Hair fan club. Not fan club, but the Shitty Facial Hair club. And that's why I do the twirly villain mustache.
So here's a random question I have for you. So you're married. So does your wife prefer facial hair or no facial hair? Does it not matter?
She hates the facial hair.
Okay.
She hates the mustache, the twirly mustache. And then every time she'll bitch at it for weeks on end. When are you going to shave that thing? When are you going to shave that thing? Because when it does the twirlies, the villain twirls at the end, it's nasty. You have to put like wax in it to keep it going, and if you don't, it's just like, hangy. It's really awkward. It's, if you're not wrestling, it's not good to have during a quarantine. You know what I mean? Like, just to have at the house. So it's a lot of when are you gonna get rid of that? When are you gonna get rid of that? And I shaved it twice in 2020 during the quarantine, and it's like she came home from shopping or from a work meeting or something in the other room. She's like, why did you do that? Every time. Why did you do that? You said you hated it. Well, yeah, but no, it looks weird. Yeah, now it does look weird. So I've got the Stone Cold going right now. I'm going to grow this out. I'm going to grow this out for a while. And I feel bad for my face because it's not going to be pretty. I'm waiting for the Hollywood tapings to return, and then I'll probably go back to the curly Q mustache again, the villain stash.
I can't wait to see it. I'll definitely be tuning in to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, wherever it airs in San Diego.
Whenever it airs in San Diego. Yeah, I'm working with Dave to get it on TV in San Diego. So hopefully it'll be on pretty soon. If you're a business owner, or if you know someone that would maybe want to get involved and be a partner for the show, let me know, because I'm gonna be working on it. We'll see we'll see how that goes. But Adam, I do actually want to know how your weekend was. How was your weekend?
Are you asking this because you listened to the OG podcast yesterday?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me how your weekend was, buddy?
I mean, it was fine. I didn't do anything other than watch a pay-per-view.
Who'd you watch the pay-per-view with?
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe I know what's happening here, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. Devin would like me to publicly thank him for paying for the pay-per-view. That's not what you're doing? What do you do?
No, that's not at all. Oh. No, we watched the pay-per-view together.
I mean, technically, I guess we did, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't paid for a pay-per-view since before the network.
I woke up to a text Sunday morning saying, how does one order a pay-per-view? Which is a very 2021 text message to receive.
This is very true. I was very interested in AEW with what they were doing. I hadn't ordered a pay-per-view from them yet. I wasn't going to stream it illegally. I have too many friends on the show and guys I've worked with, and wanted to, support them and, pay for it and do it the right way. And I was shocked. I was shocked at the price of the pay-per-view. I forgot that shit was so expensive. I think it was cheaper than the WWE ones last time I paid. It was $49. And I guess everyone else who's been paying for it is used to that. But man, that sticker shock, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you sure it shouldn't be 19 or like 29? Like, you don't get to keep the pay-per-view when you're done with it.
You do though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you still have it. If you want to rewatch it, you can rewatch it right now.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
they run 4 pay-per-views a year. They ask you for $50. That's $200 a year for AEW pay-per-views. Like, it's not crazy.
They only do 4
amount to ask.
pay-per-views? Okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
only do about 4 pay-per-views a year.
That's cool. All right, that's good. I didn't know you got to keep it because I tried to rewind it. I missed the Sting match, of course, and I had to put the daughter to bed. I tried to rewind it and I couldn't do it, and I was what is this shit? Like,
you can go back now and watch it.
I know, but it's such a non-2021 feature to have on your live broadcast. Like, you can't rewind it. What? Yeah. I liked it. No, they had me. They had me with their exploding barbed wire death match. I was like, you know what? I can't not see this. This is probably the only time it's going to be super mainstream if this doesn't end well.
Well, they're definitely never going to do it in America again.
Why?
I mean, the end of the show.
Oh, they could do it again. They just got to fix that.
I mean, they already did. They did a whole thing tonight on how they fixed it. So.
No, I'm saying they could fix the explosions.
Oh, I mean, yeah. And I just don't think they'll ever do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that you should do a lot. It's certainly not something that I would imagine you do for every blow off. But, the tag or the ladder match that they had for the Sonic the Hedgehog rig was awesome. Was stoked for. I felt like I knew they were going to do that with Sky for a while. So that was very cool. I wanted to see Sting's return match. And then when I saw that it was a cinematic match, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I can put my daughter to bed now. And then I've heard rave reviews about it ever since. So that pissed me off. And then there was a big money match as well. That was a good one.
You talked a lot about that match.
Well, you know me, Adam, I'm an idea guy. Okay. This is what I do. I spit forward ideas. And I had a couple ideas after the show as well, and one that was stolen by the show. But one of the ideas, because we run out of gimmicks, right? We haven't done. There's very few contract matches. You don't see stuff on a pole anymore. And I just thought with how publicized everything is with wrestling nowadays, that you should have, like, we know Becky just had a kid, and Seth had to take time off. You should bring back the Vince McMahon heel character and just straight up do like a PTO match. Like, this match is for your maternity leave. Oh, you want it? You think you're going to stay home with your kid? You're going to fight for it. And then you drag it on for 3 months because, she wins the Royal Rumble, but then someone challenges her for it and she's got to come back in the Elimination Chamber and win that. Oh, but she couldn't, but there was a dusty finish. And then she finally gets the blow off at Mania to where she can spend some time at home with her kid. And I just thought that'd be fantastic. Let's make it more realistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I sure.
Why don't you agree with that? That's fantastic.
Because I don't get it.
Like, okay, how about this?
Get it.
How about this? All right. New Day. If you win this match, you get your Twitch channels back. Like, that's this is what I'm talking about.
That would literally be one of the most evil things that they could do. It's so terrible.
But people would get it. It'd be hilarious, I think.
And people would get it, but they wouldn't like it. I think they would think it was exploitative or whatever.
I mean, everything that they're doing is exploitative.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not really getting their Twitch channels back, and they got some income from that. So.
Oh, they should get their Twitch. That's what I'm saying. If they win, they get it back. If they win, they get it back.
Yes, because everyone knows most wrestling stories are reality. So
just roll them up, dude.
You know that Adam Page is actually getting all of Matt Hardy's money now. So,
which is, I think that sucks because Matt earned it.
Mm-hmm. Big money, Matt.
Yeah, we don't need to go into details about the blowout or how that match ended and everything. But I enjoyed it. It paid for the pay-per-view. I was happy I paid for it. I really enjoyed what I saw. I thought it was cool to see Ego on there. Like, that's a guy that I followed for a while, and I'm glad that guy got in shape. He's a perfect example of, man, what would happen if that guy got in shape? That guy actually did it, and it paid off huge for him. So that's cool. But there was one thing in the main that you pointed out, Adam. They stole our idea which is hazmat wrestling.
Yeah,
I said this. Go ahead.
Bryce Rensburg was in a full-on hazmat wrestling referee outfit. So,
and what did I say? I said, hey, during the pandemic, you get everyone in a hazmat suit. You sit them in the crowd 10 feet apart. You should be good to go. And they did it in the ring. So that just proves that, people in the right places are listening.
That's true.
I just don't know who's listening. Probably Peter, because he lives around here.
That's true. Peter probably, he related to Cody, and then Cody was like, that's a great idea.
No, I think what happened was he probably just hooked Cody onto the podcast early on.
That's true. So when they called up B-Boy to come down to AEW, do you think they meant to call you?
No, I said you should call B-Boy. He's earned it.
Oh, okay. That's true. That's true.
That's true. Now, he didn't wrestle on Dark yet, right?
They tape it before tonight. So if they wrestled tonight, then we'll probably see it next week. I didn't see him in the crowd on Dynamite tonight.
Okay.
Usually guys that go there wrestle are in the crowd. They do have like a show that they tape for next week too at Dynamite, so he might be on that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how they exactly do it.
Yeah, I was trying to read the dirt sheets on it and find out what was going on with him, and I couldn't get any details, and I couldn't ask him. That wouldn't be fair.
It's no secret. He posted on Twitter that he was going to Jacksonville. So
he loves the Jaguars. Loves them. He wants to be there when they get. I forget. He's a quarterback. I think the Jets were going to get him at one point. What's his name?
Oh, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, when the Jaguars surprise the world, shock the world, it takes Zach Wilson.
What do you think would be the reaction of Twitter if like Zach Wilson was taken by the Jaguars? Like, what would
they would just say? This is the most Jaguars move of all time.
Like,
it reminds me.
It was an accident. They like sent in the wrong card. They're like, "Here's no. We meant Trevor Lawrence." Well, he says Zach.
No, it's already in. It's already in. That would remind me of just how the Browns, for a decade, drafted a quarterback every 2 years. They were always terrible. And you're like, what are you doing? How did that even happen? Anyway, so hazmat wrestling. Benny's going to be out at AEW in some capacity. Good for him. I'm getting really, really bummed out not being in a ring, being up here by myself. I'm just pulling my hair out.
Well, maybe soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe soon, but I mean, I'm even talking about going back. Like, I wish I was in San Diego still training and all that other stuff. But it's just, it's annoying. It's very annoying to not be doing it.
Well, it's mostly annoying, I'm sure, because it seems like people are getting back to normal down here, and you're still pretty much in the same.
Oh yeah. Of course, the second I leave, it goes back. Hey, we're doing recording shows, and God. What a disaster. I was going to mention, good job last week, by the way, with Duke. I thought that was a good show. I think you need to retitle it. I think it should probably be like The Graveyard with Big Duke, because you guys are just shoveling shit on me, buried me left and right. So that was fantastic. I know there'll be more burials this week.
What was your favorite burn?
Oh, probably fantasy football. You burning me about fantasy football. That's a good one. You don't like the way I trade. You don't like my trade talk, so.
I don't think you want to bring this up live on the air after the private conversations we've had today, but you can if you want.
No, I don't care that much. I don't think anyone cares about that. I did have a thought when we were talking about the hazmat wrestling thing, right? This is just how my brain works for anyone that's interested whatsoever. Here's what I'm thinking for a show. It combines a couple of these like pandemic style shows that I've seen so far. So I saw there was a women's show online, or at least a women's match recently with Heather. It was like a crowd-funded match, right? Crowdfund the match. And then I've seen ones, I think it was maybe Black Label Pro earlier last year, where it was, I think fans got to sponsor matches, if I'm not mistaken.
The Heather match hasn't happened yet. They're still doing that. I still see her tweeting about it. So it's going to happen, but you're right. The point is the same.
Right. So what my thought was this: you do a show, you film it in a studio, because you want to have, I mean, right now, the way things are going, especially on the West Coast, you need it for online, right? You need it to be on IWTV or Fight TV, an iPay-per-view, something, because if you're a promoter, you're not making your money. So my thought was this. Actually, I contacted Zealot about this because I was like, oh, they have Sun Studios out there where they run. It would be a great spot for this. But my thought was, you can sponsor matches or sponsor wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
For the matches, you bring in one person. That sponsor gets to come in and watch it live.
Mm-hmm.
So you have them set up. You give them. You got to make it nice. If they're sponsoring the person or the match or whatever the case is, you got to give them full food, beer, whatever the thing is. Make them like the Roman emperor type deal where they're sitting up on, they're perched up there and you're wrestling for that person. You're performing only for them. And then of course the crowd at home. And then if you really want to get interactive, you let them take over the finish. So it comes down to the end of the match. You've got him, right? You've got the guy like this. You look you look at whoever's doing the thing. He gives you the thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay. If it's the thumbs down, low brother, low blow brother, you flip the finish on him. I'm telling you, it would work. It would work, especially right now. And one of my thoughts on that was you could also, if you was sponsoring the wrestlers in the ring, you could make it more, you're yawning during this, which means I know you love it. Medieval times. Okay. One sponsor on one side, one on the other. You only get to root for that person. You have to cheer and boo your ass up. What do you think, Adam?
It sounds great. It sounds like a great idea.
I
do like the idea of bringing in a fan to sponsor it, but one of those things like maybe you can have that fan bring 2 people with them, 3 people.
Yeah,
with them.
it would be
4 people, and they're the fans for that match. So at least the match has fans.
Yeah, it would be their party. So, a small, immediate, they get booth of 4, and then you could put up the plexiglass, like the hockey arenas if you want to or whatever, and everyone have to get tested ahead of time. But my idea for it was, if someone wants to steal it, this is yours. I'm too tired to fucking do it myself. I don't even know how I got. Okay. It's because it was like the Roman emperor themed, right? Gladius Maximus or Circus Maximus. Every event or every match is different. So the person sponsoring the match gets to pay for whatever match they want. So like, I know Mike really likes to do his, or he really wants to do the blood sport style matches. So you have a blood sport style match on there. You have a cage match for the blow off, ladder match, those types of things. Anyway, that was my idea. So someone's going to sponsor it. Probably, you look like you want to do it. That's not your idea?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
My days of promoting and booking matches are over, my friend.
Probably Mike Camden is my guess.
I mean, Mike Camden, if it was a blood sport match, I feel like he'd be way into it.
I just think he wants to sponsor it.
What kind of match do you think Mike would sponsor? Like, give me an example of a match you think Mike would sponsor.
An exploding barbed wire death match. That seems like Mike's.
It seems right up his alley. If you listened to the podcast yesterday, you could tell Mike was very interested in the match.
Oh, he was so stoked on it. So unbelievably stoked. He actually looks like he lost a lot of weight. I saw one of his kicking the bag videos yesterday or today. I hit him up because like, did you look like you lost a ton of weight? What happened? He said, can't afford food anymore. That's not what he said. He's just been working. True. He's just been working his ass off doing, his kick punch. And
he's been going to a lot more classes. I think he's been doing a lot more of that stuff. He's been wrestling regularly again.
Oh, cool. Rub it in.
I mean, you're asking how he lost all that weight.
No. I talked to him about it. We talked about it, but I thought it was good. It looks good.
I was like, I don't know that. I don't know your guys' conversations.
We try to keep you out of this. It was Hogsman official business only. And we kept you out of it for good reason.
That's fine.
The conversation was about finding a new producer, essentially.
Sounds great. I'll cancel yours and just go with Duke and Mike. Well,
that works for me.
No, I'm pretty sure the people would not like that. I'm pretty sure the fans like you.
I don't think anyone gives 2 shits
about you.
Yeah.
You want so next week we're gonna have an official everyone puts over Devin episode.
I'm excited.
We're gonna have everybody send in videos of how much they love Devin, and we're gonna air it live on the podcast.
Listen, they wouldn't even give me the golden hoggy, or the golden hog.
That's because you didn't nominate everyone.
I tried to. I really did, and then someone nominated themselves. They got real excited about it.
Yeah, and then they got their own podcast.
They did get their own podcast. That's the last word. I actually tried to call them this week. I tried to do the. I was gonna go get some cards because he was talking about cards, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. If they have those old WWF cards, I wanted to do. I wanted to do a Survivor Series match with him and just try to pull the best four, and I didn't have them. So I was very upset about that.
Yeah, apparently he had some issue with an eBay seller this week that he's going to talk all about on the Last Word with Big Duke this week.
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Now I have to wait 2 days to listen to it. Let's do it now. Let's get him on. Let's call him and get him on right now.
It is like 11:30 at night on the East Coast. I'm sure he's sound asleep.
Well, I had some things I wanted to talk about, and I forgot them all.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, Devin.
Yes, this hat?
How was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. I got to watch the pay-per-view.
That was one day. What'd you do the other days?
What did I do?
I don't know. What did you do? I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm trying to recall now.
Did you go ride a bike? Did you?
I ride bikes every weekend now.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you live in a nice area. You don't live in where you used to live.
I don't live, which that was a nice area too. It just wasn't very bikeable.
It's fine.
It's fine. Why are you shitting on my place? But yeah, my weekend was just I think we rode some bikes. It's been raining, which is fantastic.
I love it. I love the rain.
Why don't you marry it?
If I could, I would. It probably wouldn't bother me. And
there's
want to hang out with them all the time.
Here's what I wanted to talk. Here's what I want to talk about. Listener of the podcast, friend of ours too, Fow out in Arizona. He attends all the wrestling shows, takes awesome pictures, does graphics for the guys. This weekend, he put together some pictures that from the wrestlers that looked like album covers that I thought were awesome. He did. If you go online on Instagram. His Instagram is Foul Footage Photography. That's FAUFOOTAGE FATOGRAPHY. But they're awesome, dude. He did one of Slice Boogie, and these all look like, looks like rap albums for the most part. This one says Queens, New York. It's got a sick cover on there. Adam, maybe you could even throw these in there while on the YouTube channel while I'm talking. He did one of me that I fucking loved. It was a black and white that said Mouthpiece on the side. So that actually spurred a new, for me, once I'm able to get back in Hollywood, I want to start doing a new nickname will be the Mount Fuji Mouthpiece. I like that a lot. You got Osaka Saitama Superstar, the Mount Fuji Mouthpiece. He did one for Ice Williams, which looks, man, this is cold, man. I like that. He did one for El Numero Uno. This is probably my favorite because it's just the way Mike looks in it. And then he did one with Chris Bay where Bay's got all the titles. So, man, that was just the
current Zealot Pro Champion, Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
That's true. He's only the second ever because there was someone else who had.
Who was the first?
I think his name was me.
Oh, how did you win that title?
Oh man, I won a tournament. I won a tournament all on my lonesome.
Did anything happen in that tournament? I think that was interesting. Other than the sky pointing upwards.
No, I didn't. No, there wasn't anyone that I wrestled in that show that was interesting at all.
Okay.
Actually,
I am inevitable.
That was that's how I became the Mad Titan of Tokyo with the Infinity Gauntlet. Also, I wrestled a New Japan wrestler at the main event.
Who?
Adrian Quest.
Ah.
I wrestled him a few times. So
yes.
Wrestled on a busted fucking ankle. I told that story.
Yeah.
I was out there for spring training, and I think it was right before my title defense. Yeah, it was right before the title defense. I tried to hop a fence, a wall.
Don't do that.
No, I tried to hop a wall, and the others. I watched everyone else do it. They're about 8 feet away, and they hopped over just fine, and I could see their head. And then on my end, when I was trying to catch up to them because I was late, I hopped over my side of the wall, and instead of it being a 5-foot drop, it was a 12-foot drop. So I completely destroyed my ankle and then wrestled on it the next day against Quest. So that was good. It was good. I think there's pictures on my Instagram of it being just completely ballooned up and unrecognizable as a body part.
Oh, that's good. That sounds fun. Did it change your wrestling style at all?
Oh, it did. It was, hey, target my leg immediately. And then he fucking, actually, that was an accident. He targeted, kicked the shit out of him. Oh my God. I almost blacked out from the pain on that first kick. It was good. But we picked up the pace after that. So, what's going on, man? You were talking about everyone getting canceled. I heard that. We were talking about WandaVision. Finally finished that. I'm excited for Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Me too. Been waiting for that for a very long time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed WandaVision. I don't know that they can top it.
Yeah, they will.
You think so?
I think so. The things you liked about WandaVision were the MCU like stuff, and Falcon and Winter Soldier is literally going to be 9 episodes of MCU shit. So,
do you think they're bringing anyone in that's hasn't been talked about?
Probably not. I mean, there's always the possibility that there's a random Chris Evans like cameo at some point during it. But I mean, I think the show has enough. Like, maybe we see Nick Fury at some point. He's kind of disappeared, but
I was very disappointed because I learned that the Snyder cut of the Justice League accidentally released on HBO Max.
Like an hour of it.
No, so it was under the guise of Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They said it was only an hour and 15, but there was a workaround. So some people were able to watch the entire thing. So I don't know what the workaround was, if they had to press restart or fast forward or whatever the case is. But they were actually able to watch the whole thing. So they say. So that bums me out because I watched Tom and Jerry, that piece of shit, right the day it debuted with my daughter. So I really wish I had waited the 2 weeks to maybe possibly catch a glimpse of Justice League. That would have been. I'm waiting for that. That's my. Oh man, DC is.
You only have one more week. You're fine.
Yeah, but it's my biggest failure, DC. Like, I love it so much, and it's just awful. They just fucked everything up. I liked Batman versus Superman. I liked Man of Steel. Wonder Woman, the first one, is one of my favorite superhero movies. I thought they did a phenomenal job with that. I loved the optics of Aquaman. I really liked Tron. So I liked the soundtrack of Aquaman. I liked, how bright it was. It was very different. They had a little bit of, some Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider stuff in that movie. Indiana Jones is, my favorite movies of all times. So they did a lot of things that I liked. Suicide Squad was not good.
No.
The Justice League one that they released to the public was not good.
No.
Birds of Prey got rave reviews for some reason. I wanted to enjoy that movie, and I thought that was just absolutely terrible. Shazam was very fun, family friendly. I wouldn't rank it very high, as far as superhero movies go, but it was fun. I'll give it that. And then the Wonder Woman 84 was just horrendous.
Bad.
So, you know what I mean? And then the fact that they can't, oh my God, they can't keep their main heroes employed. Like they've been trying to recast Henry Cavill for as long as I can remember. Like, how do you recast Superman? He's the star of your franchise. And then they recast Ben Affleck. It's just,
it doesn't make
Joker.
any sense because the argument is always, well, big stars don't want to attach themselves to movies for that long, but Marvel has shown the complete opposite. Robert Downey Jr. committed to like 10 years of a movie. So Robert Downey Jr. committed 10 years to a movie. I know you didn't hear that because you took the headset.
No, I heard it. Yeah, no, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, you can't say no one was replaced at MCU because obviously Edward Norton was replaced as Hulk almost immediately. You had War Machine replaced, even though I still think he's more of a sidekick. I think they're going to be doing the Iron Wars, which he might get his own. He might be able to main event that one, but God, man, you can't keep Superman, you can't keep Batman. You got to recast those two. Like, how can you keep your shit together? So, this Justice League is probably going to be everything I wanted it to be, I assume, because I actually really like Zack Snyder's vision. I like how dark people. It's too dark. Like, dude, who gives a shit? It's an alternative. It's an alternative to Marvel. Just you can like two things.
Exactly. Like the way Marvel is, like that's not what Batman is. That's not what Superman is. They're not lighthearted characters. They're dark characters. Like embrace that. Be different than Marvel. That was the problem with Justice League. It tried to be too much like Marvel. Like Batman doesn't make pithy little jokes in the middle of battles. Like that's not what Batman does. Like that's not. Bruce Wayne is like fucked up because he watched his parents die. Superman is fucked up because he grew up not in his own home. He's a fucking alien. Like embrace that a little bit. Like,
oh man, the way that I might have to watch that movie tonight. The way that they portrayed Clark Kent as a kid experiencing the trauma of not understanding these powers that he's coming into, or like how he experiences Earth different, just the elements different than other people, was like awesome. Yeah. Like, dude, this kid is paralyzed in fear growing up because he can't control. They did a great job. And I forgot they canceled Cyborg too. They got rid of him. They recast him. So you have 3 of your 6 heroes completely recast right off the bat.
The best way to describe the combination done perfectly is, if you haven't, watch The Boys on Amazon.
That was great.
It's the perfect like double. Things can be dramatic and also be really fucking funny all in one like setting. And it doesn't need to come off corny. It doesn't need to come off over the top. Like this, like it's what superheroes would probably be in reality today. Like that's how most of them would probably be. Yeah.
It was The Boys was very good. I enjoyed the shit out of that. So I actually almost bought it. So I took my daughter to the comic store the other day with me when I was looking for those cards to get her a comic book that I could read her before bed. I'm sick of reading her tiny little baby books. They're awful. They really are truly awful. And I was like, okay, I could find a comic that's made for a kid. I know it's for a kid. I can look through it first and make sure that it's not, adult themed or whatever. Then I found they have these My Little Pony books. So we got the graphic novels because they're, much thicker. Yeah. The stories don't connect, but there's, 6 stories instead of like 1. And she loves them. I'm stoked. I'm sitting here reading her comics before bed instead of reading this other stuff. And they're long. They're much longer than her other books. So keeps her entertained. It's something different. So I was hoping that it would spark an interest in comics down the line to go to this. Can I go to the comic store? Absolutely, sweetheart. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, that's kind of how kids are. If they, at least when they're younger, they try to kind of latch on to what their parents like. So right. I think at her age, and probably for the foreseeable future, she would probably be like, let's go to the comic book store, because you get her something. And that's really what most kids like. They're like, we're going somewhere where I'm going to get something new. Like,
well, she actually can she's not quite 4 yet, but she can read pretty well.
Yeah, she's really smart. She's very smart.
Yeah. we show her new books, or not books, but words every day. She can sound out the word, and then, okay, what did you just spell? And then she says the word. It's awesome. But that's how I learned how to read for the most part on my own, was comic books. Get a couple comic books at go to Goodwill or whatever, and just get them from the bin for a quarter. And not a quarter, you probably get like 10 for a quarter, and go home and read them. It was awesome. I remember doing that when I was 5 years old. So I'm hoping she enjoys that. But anyway, that's kind of all I have for this week. There was other things that I wanted to bring up, and I should have written them down, and I didn't.
You mean you should have made a format like Duke?
I should have made a format like Duke, but here's the thing. Duke's brand new. Okay. He's got to mind his P's and Q's for a while before he can throw them out the window.
That actually just makes you look worse, because you've been doing this for almost 60 episodes now. Like, you should have a plan at this point.
That's true. I should. And we actually talked about this. Part the reason we did this was to promote our wrestling matches and shows and upcoming, and that changed. We're not obviously, with the quarantine and everything, that changed. And I didn't really want to talk about movies or shit like that, because I had this belief that shit was coming back, and it never did. Well,
we might as well pivot. We're at that
pivot.
Point now. We can pivot. This thing can become whatever we want it to be.
We were going to with interviewing again some of the guys. I feel like we had someone lined up. Adam, do we have anyone lined up?
We did have someone lined up, but it's not.
Have you heard back?
It's not up to me at this point.
All right. Well,
so
we'll figure it out. I think
if you know anyone else, then we can certainly interview them. I know you know people.
Actually, we can talk about one that we were gonna do before we close this thing out. I tried to convince Adam, and I think he was on board for it. We both really enjoy The Office, love The Office, and I tried to convince him to do an episode. This is before The Office ladies, to do a podcast called The Office Sirs. Do you understand the pun there?
I mean, I do. We've talked about this.
You get the pun? Okay, get it. There you go. And it was going to be, fuck, actually, I don't even remember. Was it watching?
It was going to be like a lost tape podcast.
Yes.
Where I would try to make it sound as old as possible. Like, not old, like 2008, 2010. Like, we're watching the show for the first time.
And we're just shitting on it.
We're shitting on it. We'd have just the worst takes. Like, we'd be like very pro Roy, who, if you haven't watched The Office, Roy was Pam's first boyfriend / fiance, and he was just the worst character on the show. But
we were
just going to be very pro Roy. Like, let's go, Roy. We were going to be on the Karen train for Jim. Like, just we were just going to make it. We were going to make it as funny and as ironic as possible. I don't even know if we were going to use our real names. I think we might. No,
I don't think we were. But what we were going to do was start off the episode with a little bit of news each week, and it wasn't. I don't even think they were called podcasts yet, so we were going to call them audio blogs. I think it was like The Office Sirs audio blogs. Anyway.
I had even gone to the point where we were going to do a practice episode for a certain episode, and I Googled what happened that week. And
you?
I think I put this in the notes. One of the episodes we were going to practice with was like the day before the national championship game with Texas and USC that Vince Young played.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself, all right, so I'm going to be full on like, there's no way that Vince Young is a bust. He's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. And I wanted you to be like, no, I don't think he's going to be that good. I think Matt Leinert's going to be better than him. We would just have just the worst takes. Like,
that's right.
But you can just research them and be like, oh, these would be horribly hilarious bad takes.
Like right before the housing market burst. Now's the time, guys. Buy
your houses. Come on.
Check out this company called Enron. Hot tip. But God damn it, that's still. I still think there's a way to do it.
We still could have done it, but the problem was then Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher started their own podcast called The Office Ladies. I think Brian Baumgartner does one now about The Office. He's the one who played Kevin, and I think I know he did an episode with Ed Helms the other day. So like, we can't get these people.
You kind of saturated the market too.
Yeah, and there's literally podcasts about everything now. So like you got to try to find trying to find one that hasn't been done is like really hard. But The Office is like, especially now with like Netflix, it made The Office so much more popular over the last couple of years. And it's like,
well, what's funny is when we talked about this, there was one podcast. I think there's maybe 2 podcasts about The Office.
Yeah, maybe
that was it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything else. I'm like, dude, if we're gonna do this, if we could do this funny and different, I think that would work.
Like there's a couple of shows that I would like, man, no one's doing episode review podcasts of these shows. And then all of a sudden stars of the shows start like Scrubs was another one that I was like, man, they don't have a Scrubs podcast. That's good. I'll think about doing that. And then Zach Braff and Donald Faison do their own now where they have like fucking Matthew Perry on and well, I can't beat that. Like I might be a mega fan of Scrubs, but there's no way I could fucking beat that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard to get people's attention on shit like that. So
you have to get a big guest, I think, to get a podcast to pop. I think you have to get a big guest on, and like we've seen with the episodes of the Hogsman where we get Dominic on or Benny on. Those are the episodes that do better than like us sitting around talking, you know, which is fine. Yeah. But you know, you got to put out content every week.
That's true. That's true. So next week I will have a show rundown sheet. Is that what you call it? It's a sheet of paper, I think.
I would make one, but you know more about what you want to talk about than what I do. What if we talked about what I wanted to talk about? It probably wouldn't be that fun for you.
Let's do this. Next week, Adam, this show is in your control. This is the week that you become fully realized Super Saiyan producer Adam.
All right, next week on the Hogscast Red and Black, special guest replacing Devin Sparks, Big Duke is going to be on the show.
Amen, brother. Let's get him on. Let's get him on. I'd love him to do a double shot, and I'll just kick back and put my crying child to bed at 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, whatever it is. But that's it. That's all I got this week. Did you have anything else?
No. Like, subscribe, review, leave a review on the podcast networks. Follow us on YouTube. Watch this thing on YouTube, even though it might not be as exciting as watching college football highlights of players or something. I don't know.
Is that what you're going to do when we get off the phone or off the?
That's the shit I do on
podcast.
YouTube at this point. It's the time of the year where I'm looking at college football players in anticipation of dynasty fantasy drafts that I don't have many picks in, but I still would like to know.
All right, well, that's it. That's all we've got for this week. Adam, if they want the tip, what do they have to do?
I don't know.
Sayonara.
Adios.